the things that you have now. And I was like,
and there's a lot of contentment that comes with gratitude, because yesterday when we were talking, remember when we were talking and then you're like, girl, you just won, relax. Because I'm always thinking about the next thing. Like, how do I top this? But sometimes it's just about sitting back and just be like, okay, cool. The other day I actually sat down and I was looking at the pictures from my graduation to the pictures to now the pictures that I have of this essay. And I was remembering how, especially now with the student protests and everything, I was remembering how I actually struggled a lot. And now I'm at this point, and it's something worth celebrating. Yeah. But we forget how far we've come when we get to the places that we need to get to. But even when you achieve that big dream, or once you achieve that big goal, you find yourself looking for your next. But you prayed for that. You worked hard for that. So why are you not celebrating it? And that's something that...
Oh, sorry. Go on.
I forgot what I wanted to say.
Oh, sorry. Because I'm saying I just saw someone in the conversation saying there's no time to celebrate. And I want to say that there is. There is absolutely you have every moment to celebrate, even the smallest things that you have. Gratitude is, sure, it's like one of the biggest things that you will ever have as a person. Is to be grateful for literally every single victory and every single little thing that you do. Passing your matric is a celebration. Celebrate like crazy. This is why I love watching South African graduations, when I look at all the black mothers who go across the stage dancing as if their child is like just got.
It's a combination of prayers. Yes. It's a combination of prayers.
Like the smallest things, celebrate, you guys. Gratitude is really such an important thing, because it teaches you to appreciate everything that you have, and then it makes it even more easier to move on to the next step and to the next step. So I'm just stay grateful, guys. Stay grateful.
No, you're so right, because even when you look back, I think the worst thing is rushing through your life without being grateful for every single moment. And then you look back, you feel like when things aren't going your way, you look back and say, oh, maybe I should have been happier then. Maybe I should have done this. That was actually a good time. But then you rushed through it. And when you look back, it's all gone. So being grateful for every single stage in your life is quite important. And I know one thing that I always speak about, a lot of people ask me about body positivity as well. And being grateful for your body, even the little things about yourself. Every single day is quite important. Looking in the mirror, I was told to look in the mirror and say, I love you 3 times. And at the end of each day, write things that you're grateful for, write things that you're proud of. It can be you being proud of the fact that you woke up. You being proud of the fact that you actually did something that you've been wanting to do. It's the small things, just taking time out, even if it's 5 minutes every single day, to just say, you know what, I'm grateful for life. I'm grateful for this, I'm grateful for that. It doesn't have to be anything. It doesn't have to be a huge achievement. It can just be the little things in your life. I'm grateful that I did this. I'm grateful that I did that, because every single day is a blessing. Every single day is a new day to just be there for yourself, to show up for yourself. So when you do, be grateful for that. Just be kind to yourself, guys.
Absolutely.
Be kind to yourself.
Absolutely.
So what do you do when you pamper yourself?
When I pamper myself?
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I used to love, I know Esther's on here as well, Esther, my manager. She used to take me, to book me to Sotis. It's like a massage place, because I love getting massages. And I remember to all my trips to Indonesia, it was always like up there that I had in South Africa. I am such a massage. I love that. It's been so sad that we've lost some of that during the pandemic. I was just like, this is the worst time ever if I can't get a massage. But I think now what I've been doing to pamper myself, like I said, is self-care of my skin. Honestly, I think that's it's the biggest organ of our body. And so I feel like it's just so important to take care of it, because if you feel better, it makes me feel better about myself. So that's what I do. I know a lot of people who do follow the Miss Universe page will see that I've had videos out there of me doing, my self-care, my skincare routines, and just taking care of myself. That's what I do to pamper myself. And trying to eat as healthy as possible. Trying is a huge one.
That's the key. That's the key word.
Key is trying to eat healthy, because if you feel good on the inside, it radiates on the outside as well. So I've been trying that as well. And yeah, that's what I've been doing with my Woolies products. Woolworths sends me a lot of products. Shout out to Woolworths. Let me tell you, have you tried their night oil? They have this night oil that they have in their range. It smells amazing. It feels so
The
good.
night oil, I need to try that.
Oh, please. So Woolworths has been hooking me up, and I've been doing my skincare routines using their products as well. So
I don't know if you've tried, especially for makeup removal, have you tried the micellular water from Woolies? That's the one thing I swear by.
Yeah. Recommend it.
And it smells so good.
It does. It really does.
It smells so good. I'll be wiping off my makeup and then I just want to stop because I like the way it makes my skin feel and how it smells. I love the smell of that thing. I love it. I need to restock on it. So, Woolies, if you're watching, your girl needs micellular water.
Absolutely.
One thing I think, though, for a lot of people that are watching, especially now with it being International Women's Month, it's quite important for us to talk about the importance of speaking your truth. So from your perspective, how important is it to speak your truth, especially in this day and age?
It's the most important for me. It's the most, if you are not honest with yourself and if you are not speaking your own truth, I just feel like how happy does that make you, as a person? Because I feel like whenever I'm not being honest, I'm not at my happiest. Especially, having the platform that I have, being who I am. If I'm not truthful, and if I let other people narrate my story, if I let other people try to speak my truth for me, that is so problematic. And so I love the theme of this, this International Women's Month. Because it's all about speaking out and it's all about standing up for the things that you believe in. And I've never shied away. I never shied away when I was on the Miss South Africa stage answering my top 5 question. I knew what had to be said and I said it without even, breathing or blinking twice. In that moment, I didn't care what negative things people would say because I felt in my heart of hearts that it was right and that I had to do it. The same thing came with my Miss Universe platform. When I did Miss Universe, I was like, I'm going to speak my truth once again because I feel like it's important. I feel like it needs to be said. Did it come with a whole lot of backlash when I was done from other groups of people? Absolutely it did, because I still have people who come up to me now and they're like, you won because you played the race card, or you won because you went onto that stage and just spoke about racism. That's all that you have. And I'm like, if that's the reason why I won, then absolutely fantastic. I love that, because those are things that needed to be said and these are things that need to be done. And so speaking our truth is very important, Shulu. It makes you feel good about yourself, and it also makes you feel like you are playing a positive change and a positive impact into the world, because that's how I generally feel. I feel like we are all born into this world for, a purpose. We are all born to bring some certain light and to help bring some kind of change. And so for me, that's what I've always felt like my purpose was, to use my voice to try and make sure that I am playing my part and contributing to, a world that we all want to exist in. And so that's why, speaking the truth for me is always important.
And I'm so glad, so many of us are so glad that you spoke your truth, because it changed the narrative a lot for a lot of us. Because, one thing that you speak about, I know that there was backlash with the race, people thinking that it was a race thing. But representation is so important, because if, for example, growing up, if I didn't see myself, or if I don't see myself in you, for example, then you feel like this world is not made for you, or it's not, you feel like you're an outsider in the world that you live in. And the beautiful thing about the statement that you made, especially, I watched the top 5 question, and that was very bold, because I was like, wow, she actually said that. I was like, wow, she actually said that. And it was so true. It was so true for so many of us. But it's almost like we're just waiting for someone to say it, or we're just waiting for the platform to say it. And for you to use the platforms that you have to actually make sure that things like representation or the truth about gender-based violence are at the forefront, it does a lot for the next person that comes after you, because then we're inspired to tell our truth as well, because it's almost like you always have to be guarded about what you say, because you always have to be palatable to the next person, but you don't always have to be palatable, especially when there's a truth that needs to be told. So personally, I'm glad that you told your truth, because it made and inspired the next generation and so many people around the world to tell their truth as well.
But I just also want to say that I love our generation so much, and I love this new generation coming in as well. You're Gen Z, right? Are you Generation Z? Z.
I don't even know what that means.
She's like, well, because I'm a I'm a millennial, you know. Then there's the next generation coming in, and people always
Isn't that the 2000s?
Huh? No.
The generations.
I think it's like from 96 or 97 or something. I'm not sure, but it's like the new age.
Yeah.
New age kids. But, you know, people always say this about millennials and Generation Z is that, you know, we are too much, too bold, too this. And I'm like, but is that a bad thing, though? Is that a bad thing? I don't think it's a bad thing. And they say we want change drastically and we want it now. And I'm like, yes. Yes. Because we've been waiting on the sidelines for change. So many social issues are happening. And one thing that I love about this generation is that they are not taking no for an answer. Nobody's backing down. They're fighting for the right thing and they're speaking their truth. And that is one thing that I appreciate about us. Whether you go on TikTok, which is insane, which is something that I never wanted to do. But let me tell you, the things that I've learned on that app from our generation is insane. So whether you go on TikTok or it's on Twitter or it's on Instagram, they are using this platform to make sure that they are navigating a change that will impact the world in so many beautiful, positive ways. And so I just wanted to give props to the younger generation for that. To say, let's not stop. Let's not stop. If they're saying we're doing too much or you're doing too much, then keep doing it. Because if that's what it will take for change to come, then absolutely do too much.
And too much, and them saying it's too much is just because it evokes some sort of uncomfortability, because it's something that they're not used to, like having someone that's outspoken championing change. It's something that we, especially as women, we've always been taught to be meek. Don't speak until you're spoken to. But now you find a whole new generation of outspoken women speaking out on so many issues. So I'm really, I get a lot of questions about that as well in terms of mental health and how this generation is ready to receive it. A lot of people, especially in this generation, speak about their mental health. They speak out. They make sure, to quote you, they're taking up space. They're actually taking up space and making a mark and leaving a mark in this world, and it's commendable. And I'm so happy that the next generation is just going to do more than what we're doing now as well.
Absolutely. But also, before we move on from, you know, the whole intergenerational conversation is, I think I once saw a post on Twitter where someone said, you know, don't F with us. I don't know if I'm not allowed to drop the F bomb here. Don't F with us because we are not our ancestors. We will F you up. And I had such a huge problem with that statement because I feel like they were not giving props enough to the women who came before us, because we are here because those women did their part. They marched to the beat of their own drum and they did all that they could. And because we're here, it's because of them. They passed on that torch to us. And so that's why I always emphasize on the importance of picking up that torch, running our own mile, and then making sure that we pass it on to the next generation as well. And so just to continue having these intergenerational conversations is so important. Also on the mental health topic, because they come from such a different generation from us that they don't even understand these conversations on, you know, mental health. There's been a meme going on, you know, with this mother, with the gogo opening the door, and like the captions there have been killing me. It's like there's like a sad truth behind the humor. It is humor, very funny, but you know, the realization of how we need to keep having these intergenerational conversations to make sure that we are breeding a much healthier, you know, mentally healthier generation to come, is to have these conversations with our mothers and our grandmothers, you know, to say, listen, we need to have these mental health conversations, because it's not something that they had. It's something that we have. And so I think it's all up to us to have these open conversations with them as well, to help them understand, so that our children, you know, can live in a more, I don't know, just healthy and friendlier environment.
And I think we also underestimate the importance of actually teaching the previous generation, because they did a lot. And I was actually speaking to Nancy the other day, and you know how we always say we our ancestors' wildest dreams, but we actually our ancestors. You know, like they did a we all of them that came before us, we are because they were, or they are as well. So I think it's important to acknowledge, like you're saying, the people that came before us, the people that actually made freedom, the freedom to be outspoken as a woman, possible. You know, like there's a lot of people that came before us that actually made this a possibility. So it's quite important to give props to them too. And they took up their space, and I want to know how you take up space. I think a lot of people want to know that. How do you take up space?
Girl, by being present, I make
Yes.
sure, if I enter a room, whether it's a virtual room or whether it's a physical room, I take up that space, literally and figuratively. Literally in the sense that I show up, you must see